Welcome back to part 3 of The Raven. We're getting closer to Halloween, so let's move our way through this poem. We're moving on to the second page. We just finished with "'Tis the wind and nothing more." In this segment, I want to focus on two kinds of sounds. First is the English flap. It's where the T sound becomes almost a D sound between voiced sounds, or intervocalically, as we say. And I have highlighted them here for you, like shudder, flutter. If any of you have ever ordered a water and asked for a water, and people are in the US are very confused, this is why, because you need a flap. It's really not a D. It's just a very quick movement of the tongue, and your voice does not stop phonating. It just continues. The voice continues. I explained to some people that voice, when we're talking pronunciation between voiced and voiceless, voice is like when you do your laundry and you have a load of white clothes, and then you throw in one red sock, and then the red sock makes pink. That's what voice is. It bleeds onto the sounds around it. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. Oh, before that, one more sound, the ED sound. For a lot of people, they don't know whether it's a T sound, t, or an ed, or a D sound, d. And again, it all depends on voiced or voiceless. If you hear it like step, it's a voiceless P. So therefore, the ED sound is going to be t. Or in stayed, because y is a vowel in voiced, the ED sound makes a d sound. If you're going to have an ED, it's usually after a D or a T. And we can get more into those rules later. But let's do the poem. Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord and lady perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet so blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above his chamber door, with such name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing farther than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. And again, I highlighted the most of these intervocalic T's that make a duh sound. I think I missed one ED in here. Oh, perched here. Um, please make sure to practice those and check parts 1 and 2 to see how I work with phrasing, where to pause, when to breathe. That all is very important when it comes to speaking, first of all, English, but secondly, poetry. Have a haunted week.